Good evening. Welcome to my bedroom. My bungalow actually. It's I love it here. It's very authentic. It's all the bamboo walls and quite modern. It's got the aircon and the fan, so you certainly don't feel hot. Not that the weather's hot at the moment. It's in fact extremely mild. I guess I felt like just jumping on and having a chat about a phone call I just had from one of my best friends in Queensland, who is taking care of my dog Oscar. Oscar is 14 years old, and clearly heading towards the end of his life, and with that comes a lot of health issues. So the big question is, how long do you let your pet suffer for? So at the moment, she's taken him to the vet, and we're trying to do our best to make him feel better. He's got a lot of issues with his ears and I don't know his skin. He's a spoodle, so I think it's not unusual for these sort of things to happen with these kind of dogs. He's been with me since he was 6 months old, and how I ended up with him was that one of the mornings I was taking my son to school, primary school, and a young girl had this gorgeous puppy, and I said, what a gorgeous dog. And the next minute she's like, well, we're looking for a home. Would you like to take him? So literally 10 minutes later, I now had a dog called Oscar, who was a puppy. And so we've been through a lot together. I mean, a lot together. But he's been the most beautiful natured, great dog that you could possibly want. And it has been very difficult for me to actually, not still be there with him. But, sometimes you make hard decisions. And he is staying with my friend where he stayed before for a period of time, and she has got a couple of incredible properties actually. So he's mainly up at the farm, so we've got this incredible grounds where he loves and lots of outdoor space, whereas with me I would be working, he would be at home, he would be literally kind of on his own until I got back from work, or with my mother, who has got dementia, so not a whole lot of fun. And obviously carers would come and go. So it wasn't really an ideal environment for him. So in a sense, I'm happy that he gets to spend, this part of his life in a beautiful environment where it's just nature and where he can be a dog, a real dog. But our discussion this evening was the costs of what comes with keeping him well, and which I'm willing and have been paying. But there has to become a time when you say, okay, to have an operation now at 14 and spend thousands of dollars, is it really the right decision to make? And I don't have that kind of money, to be honest with you, to afford a huge operation for my beautiful dog, who may only live on for another year or so. It's a tough call, and it's a heartbreaking and heart-wrenching conversation to even have. And I'm so fortunate that where he is, he's so well looked after and loved, and I know that he's in good hands, and he loves my friend, and he loves being there. So that's not, I feel good about that. But it's just, I'm here now, and it makes it difficult that I'm not around for these last, maybe 6 months of his life. But you're probably going to think I'm a horrible person. I don't know, but it is what it is. And I also needed to get away and take time out to, have my life, especially after looking after my mum and being in a tough situation for the last couple of years. I had to get away. So that was a conversation we had, and basically, making a decision on how far do we let it go. When do you say enough is enough? How much money do you spend before you think it's just, what is the point? So it was a tough conversation, and it was one that I knew was coming, and I didn't really want to have. But I also can't put it on my friend that they've got to look after a sick dog, or he's or a dog that is now is old and he gets these terrible smells. They've got to deal with that as well. I mean, that isn't a fair situation to put onto anyone, even though I know that they love him and they keep saying, no, we love him, we love him, we love him, but it's not a fair thing to do to anyone. So I don't know, I feel a bit sad about the conversation, but it's a circle of life as well. And I know in my heart that he has had an incredibly great life, and he's a beautiful dog, and we have had the most beautiful relationship. And this is a part of life, pets, people, things happen to your life, and then they leave. And I guess one day I'll be leaving as well, and it's just part of the circle of life. And I wanted to share it with you and just to let you know how I feel. And I can only imagine I'm probably going to get a lot of negative feedback saying how awful I am and that I should be there, but I'm not there, and I probably won't be there when he does pass. I just hope he gets another, good 6 months, but I sure as hell am not going to let him suffer, and I'm not going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on prolonging his life for possibly another 6 months. And that's just how it is. I'm not in a position to be able to do that, so it can't be done. Anyway, I did want to say hello. And hopefully this story doesn't end badly. At least I'd be happy if Oscar can have another 6 months, and a good 6 months, but there's no guarantees. And I'm sure other people out there have been through what I'm going through, and yes, it's awful. I'm not there, and I should be there, and I should be part of this process, but I'm not, and I highly doubt that I will be. So love me or hate me, that's just how it is, and I am who I am, and you can decide what you think of me. But that's just something I wanted to share with you. Thank you for listening. One thing I'm going to ask, and I always forget to ask this, if you are interested in my story, and by the way, it won't be all doom and gloom. This is just an unfortunate conversation and a sad conversation, and one that I know that a lot of other people do have. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, and send me a like if you're interested. That's up to you. Hopefully you will, and hopefully there's also compassion, and that you can understand my situation as well. And just send out a lot of love right now to my dog Oscar, and to Catherine, who's taking such beautiful care of my precious animal. Okay, good night to everybody. Thanks for listening.